All right, Deadleg. The Naismith watch list presented by Jersey Mike's. I've got my top three candidates updated, and there is a change. Let's hear yours first, though.
Uh, man, I'm going to give you my top three. It's not enough though. How many players are you looking at total for this? Under real consideration.
Oh, I think you could go above 5, less than 10, but there are more players that could reasonably win National Player of the Year this deep into the season than I was going to say than any season I can remember, but I don't have a great memory.
No,
But
that's
but
the answer.
yeah, it might
I
be
don't
than any
remember.
season.
If you're watching the chat and something comes to mind, tell us. When's the last time that we had this many players viably competing for National Player of the Year? All right, here's my three is 1 is Oscar Tshiebwe, 2 is Johnny Davis, 3 is EJ Liddell. Those are my top three in order right now. But it's not and Tshiebwe's been at my one spot for a while, so it hasn't actually interchanged. But he has not entirely separated himself from Davis, Liddell, Abaji, Chet Holmgren. I'll get to him in a second when we talk games this weekend. Holmgren was insane on Thursday night. Kofi Coburn. Drew Timme is still not out of it. Jaden Ivey, Walker Kessler. I'm at 10 there. Did I mention Keegan Murray? That's 10. I'm at 10, and I still feel like there might be 1 or 2 more. But anyway, Tshiebwe, Davis, Liddell, in that order is my 3 as of Friday morning.
Right now, I think it's got to be Oscar Tshiebwe. I mean, he just keeps doing stuff or not. He keeps putting up numbers in wins that make it illogical to drop him. You know, he's now averaging 16.4 points, 15.3 rebounds for a team that I've got 7th in the top 25 and 1. And in the past week, got 21 and 14 in a win over Alabama, 17 and 16 in a win over LSU. He has 10 straight double doubles. The numbers are just wild. And so, yeah, my number one, I think most people's number one right now, remains Oscar Tshiebwe at Kentucky. My number 2 is Chet Holmgren at Gonzaga. The freshman's averaging 14.7 points, 9.8 rebounds, 3.6 blocks per game for a team that, you know, is number 1 in all the computers, number 1 in the top 25 and 1, AP poll, coaches poll, would be the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament right now. In the past week, got 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks, and went over Santa Clara. And then last night, 21 points, 15 rebounds, 6 blocks in a win over San Francisco. And then my number 3 is Keegan Murray at Iowa. Got 23. He's averaging 23.5 points, 8.5 rebounds for a team that I now have in the top 25 and 1 in the past week. Got 24 points, 5 rebounds, and a win over Ohio State. 28 points, 5 rebounds, and a win over Michigan State. And if I were to take it out to 5, it would be 2 more Big Ten players. Mm-hmm. Johnny Davis at Wisconsin, EJ Liddell at Ohio State. We talked about this earlier in the season, and it's held up nicely. The Big Ten's not the best league in the country. I think that's the Big 12. But the Big Ten's got more awesome college basketball players than any other league in the country.
It does. Yes, it absolutely does. And now this isn't a surprise. If you've recently subscribed, started watching, listening, well, welcome, and we're happy to have you. But when we talked in the preseason, October into early November, this was when we built our first team, second team, third team All-American list, when we comprised our top 101 players as we do every October for CBSSports.com. It was loaded in the top 25 to 30 with Big Ten players. That league was more represented. And there were guys that aren't currently in the top 10 that I still would have top 20. Example, Trace Jackson Davis, another really, really awesome player. So yeah, the Big Ten has the most studs. And oh, by the way, like the Big Ten being really good with a lot of players, I think has helped college basketball's interest to this point. I think having a lot of older players in the sport has actually helped college basketball's interest. And we gauge that off of certain things like, frankly, this podcast, this is all for the listeners, and thank you so much. But like our podcast numbers are really, really good and increasing this year. And I don't think it's just because we have a regular season. By regular, I mean not abnormal like a year ago when COVID was really taking over. But I think the fact that you've got a lot of teams that have shown to be really, really good when they've been ranked, they've been playing well. There are older players. It just seems like there's a bit more engagement overall with the sport this season. And I think having so many players in contention to win National Player of the Year, when we have to make our end of season first, second, third team All-American lists. That's going to be an awesome challenge, but splitting between who's on first and second team, I think is going to be tough. And then having to have that cut line of guys that aren't going to make the third team, I think is also going to be tough there. So yeah, it's been fantastic to this point. And I still think, I mean, at this point, like I read you the 10 before for me: Sheboy, Davis, Liddell, Coburn, Abaji, Holmgren, Murray, Timmy, Ivy, Kessler. Those 10. I don't even have Jabari Smith on that list, and he could get there. What if we look up and Duke has not lost by the end of the ACC tournament? Like Paolo Banchero going to be there? He's not on. He's not on, right? We still have a lot of guys there. I still think there's a possibility. Just as an example, I have to do this for this Jersey Mike's sponsorship for CBS Social every Thursday as well. And so when I updated my list on Thursday morning, Chet Holmgren hadn't done what he did on Thursday night against San Francisco. I had Chet Holmgren 7th on my list. I mean, Chet Holmgren at 7. What if Purdue is a 1 seed and Jaden Ivey starts averaging 27 points over the next 7 games? I just think that there are players as low, like Walker Kessler's going to lead the nation in blocks. Now, him and Jabari are probably going to cancel each other out. But I think I have Ivy as low as 9. I think someone as low as him is still conceivably potentially able to win National Player of the Year. And we're at February 25th. This never happens. Really good thing.
Here's the thing. At Auburn, Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler could cancel each other out. At Gonzaga, Drew Timme and Chet Holmgren could cancel each other out. Here's a prediction for you. Like most of these National Player of the Year awards come out when? We wait till just before the Final Four, but most of the awards come out earlier than that.
A lot of them come out. The voting ends in the regular season. There's one, I believe, where it's after the conference tournament. I like the way we do it. We don't let the Final Four dictate our vote, but we do say the NCAA tournament should have some sort of say in how we assemble these All-American teams, Player of the Year, Coach of the Year. So we vote after the Elite Eight and before the Final Four begins.
Here's a prediction for you. Of all the mainstream National Player of the Year awards, there will not be a consensus. One guy will win some of them. Another guy will win some of them. And how about this? And then it will become clear as the NCAA tournament unfolds that somebody else was the biggest player in college basketball this season. Because it's going to be Jaden Ivey. It's going to be Paolo Banchero. There will be somebody who goes on a wild NCAA tournament run that was a legitimate National Player of the Year candidate. Like somebody's name we have mentioned in the past 3 minutes. But they will not be National Player of the Year, but they'll go on a run in the NCAA tournament, and that's the person we'll vote National Player of the Year. Remember the Kemba Walker year? Kemba Walker was not National Player of the Year that season. But who was the biggest player in college basketball season?
Jimmer. Was it Jimmer?
I don't remember who it was. I just remember Kemba Walker was not the National Player of the Year. But if you would have waited and voted after the Big East tournament, after the NCAA tournament, Kemba Walker would have been everybody's National Player of the Year. The voting just happened before he did most of the stuff that he did.
Got you right now here. That is, 2010, 2011, Jimmer Fredette, across the board, National Player of the Year. Yeah, there we go. Last time, by the way, so before we get to the weekend previews, the last time we had, there are 6, traditional National Player of the Year awards, which is a whole other matter, but whatever. They're the Naismith, which I vote for, Associated Press.
We only care about the Naismith on the Jersey Mike's podcast.
Correct. We only care about the Naismith.
Naismith's the only one that matters.
Frankly, and the CBSSports.com National Player of the Year. Do you not care about that as well? Because I do. But there are 6 of them. All right, I won't name the others. There are 6 of them. The problem is there are too many. There should only be CBS and Naismith.
Yes. And while we're on it, too many sub shops. If you want to know the truth.
Too many sub shops. Okay, there we go.
There should only be a Naismith award and a Jersey Mike's. That's it. In this world, that's what I mean. That's all we need in this world. Too many sub shops.
A
Too many sandwich shops.
Above.
The sub above.
Sub above. All right, you want to get into do you want to get into this Final Four one?
I do, but as we were talking through that, it just sort of occurred to me like this isn't only a great National Player of the Year race. It's been a great college basketball season, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It has. It's been a very rewarding season so far, and I think that's in part because of what we mentioned there, what we mentioned when we did that episode 2 weeks ago, and I said, Parrish, I'm going to list you 20 teams, you tell me who you think can win the national championship, and you got to 10 or 11 of them, and it wasn't say like 5 or 6. I think that is also another reason why.
Like you look at like the teams that matter in the sport this season, and it's I don't know, they check every box. It's Gonzaga once again, big brand. Arizona, big brand. Kentucky, big brand. Baylor, reigning national champ. I'm just going down KenPom right now. Kansas, big brand. Texas Tech with a first-year coach. Auburn with a star coach and maybe the number one pick in the draft. Duke in Coach K's final season. Tennessee, Villanova, UCLA, Purdue, Tech, just big brands. And I think it also helps that the players projected to go 1, 2, 3 in some order in the NBA draft are on teams that are ranked in the top 10. Chet Holmgren at Gonzaga, Jabari Smith at Auburn, Paulo Banchero at Duke. Sometimes we end up with like Markelle Fultz on a bad team, projected to go number 1 overall, or Ben Simmons on a bad team. Our best NBA prospects, Johnny Davis, Jaden Ivey, the 3 guys I already mentioned, they're all playing for relevant teams. It just like this season has unfolded in a pretty awesome way. It's been a fun season. You know me, by this time of the year, I'm usually like beat down and just ready for everything to be over. This has been a blast. I mean, I'm still beat down and tired. I don't have a power source.
I don't have a power source.
Podcasting.
Got your phone back, but yeah, the whole deal. Yeah.
Got my phone back, lost my power source. Life is difficult, man. Life is very challenging. But I'm enjoying the season. It's been awesome.
It has been. All right, final 4-1 for everyone. Don't worry. I'm gonna work in Murray State, South Dakota State love. That's coming. But first, we're gonna pick GP's 4 games before we get to mine and the rest of the schedule. Nada, can we get those records, please?
Deadleg, you're going off script.
Oh boy, you got a script?
Yes, there is a script, sir.
You're going off script, Deadleg. Before we get to the final 4-1, let me ask everybody out there a question. Are your go-to game day foods feeling uninspired? Next time, skip the usual suspects and order Jersey Mike's. At Jersey Mike's, they make every sub to order with premium, fresh sliced meat, and cheesesteaks are cooked on a flat-top grill. Download their app for delivery, curbside, or in-store pickup. Jersey Mike's, it's a proud sponsor of the Naismith Award and a proud maker of
a sub above.
A sub above.